Good evening, all. My name is Salama Ibrahim, a Generations for Peace volunteer in Nigeria. And speaking with me is...
Good evening to you all. My name is Zainab Nankya. I come from Uganda. I'm a lead volunteer for Generations for Peace, and I'm excited to be standing right in front of you and just humbled for the fact that I'm one of the speakers for this great event. To me, trust simply means the willingness and ability of an individual to work with others and having a feeling of safety as you work with others. And in this very context, what I mean by others is to do with people coming from different backgrounds. It can be in terms of religion, it can be in terms of tribe, it can be in terms of races, mention it.
I'd like to look at this year's Team Trust Matters from two angles. My first angle is taken from our local Nigerian Pidgin English context, where the Team Trust Matters can be pronounced as trust matter, meaning issues of trust. For me, I see these issues of trust as the flint that is used to create the spark that fans the flame of conflict. My second angle is actually an angle that I believe that so many of us share here, which is that trust matters. Trust is a very vital pillar in building sustainable peace, either in a family, in a community, or a society.
Talking about family, I would like to give my personal experience basing on the fact that it's to do with the family. Most of us who are here, we know that in Uganda, polygamy is legal, whereby a man can marry more than one wife at a time, which I believe is quite different in other parts of the world. I grew up from a polygamous family. My own father had 2 wives, and it so happened that I grew up with a stepmother, and this stepmother of mine she treated me like her own daughter. And my father strived so hard to ensure that the 2 families really lived harmoniously. However, things changed when I was 12 years old. And it so happened that my own father ignored the fact that I was his own daughter. He only prioritized my stepbrothers and sisters in terms of basic needs, education, and so many others. So life was so hard to my side. It was very hard and very challenging. And it really affected me till the end of my studies.
Talking about the roles of fathers in the lives of their children, my father actually was one who built trust in us. He taught us to trust people despite their religion or ethnical background. And that went on for a long time. All this changed in the year 2000 in Kaduna State when we had the biggest crisis ever, religious crisis, where I lost an uncle in the crisis, and a lot of other people died. Actually, it was reported that almost 5,000 people were killed in that single crisis. The crisis created a divide, a relationship gap, sort of, between Christians and Muslims in my state, and I had to deal with the feelings of the sadness from the loss of my uncle, and I also had to deal with fear arising from now the physical divide we had in the state. Christians that lived in Muslim-dominated areas actually had to relocate back to where they had more Christians, where they could feel safe. And then Muslims that lived in Christian-dominated areas had to move to places where there were more Muslims so that they could feel safe. So those feelings lingered on with me for quite some time.
Just to compare to my own personal experience, I had a feeling of fear, a feeling of resentment and mistrust, whereby it really affected my way of living. I was worried of any kind of relationships I had to make just because of the fear that I had. And I kept asking myself, I kept having questions. If my own father betrayed the trust and confidence I had in him, then who wouldn't? So I really didn't trust anyone at all. Not until I got an opportunity in 2008 to attend the Generations for Peace camp, and it aimed at promoting peace using sport. So as I attended the camp, I kept on wondering, would I be able to go back home and pass on this message to my fellow people within my local context? I asked so many questions, but I looked back And I was like, it all had to start with me. I had to break the long-held stereotypes and myths and be able to work with the others in my local community and plan with them the programs. And in 2014, I really had to start up a program whereby we use sport and arts as a tool to foster cooperation and build trust among the youth from different religious denominations.
Though I had stereotyped Muslims for a long time, a part of me actually longed for a normal relationship, for things to go back to the way they used to be, where Christians and Muslims lived together and shared meals together and had fun together. That longing in me led me to be part of a peace-building program that started with an advocacy for peace training organized by Generations for Peace, where I had an opportunity to work with youths in interreligious group of youths from different religion and different background. Working with these youths helped me to see things differently. It helped me to understand that not all Muslims are the same, one, and that life in a Muslim residential area was really normal. It's not like it's a ground waiting for Christian. People are just there waiting for Christians and just to kill them or anything. But it's actually normal. So my experience with working with these youths really changed my life and gave me a new perspective to life.
I also, working again and again with the youth within my local community, I got to realize the fact that it was possible to work with others. Because depending on the way they were behaving during the programs, opening up, trusting each other, I also realized it was possible, and I carried on the programs, and it also changed my life. I got to see, I gained trust after working with those youth.
I strongly believe that peaceful coexistence is possible, but it will take a lot of effort and a lot of investment in bringing people across their divides. And then I stand here today as a living testimony that it is possible to build bridges, but only when trust is restored.
In fact, our diversity is just an established fact. And we all know, we are all here in this room, we come from different backgrounds, and we are all sitting here, but we only need to open up. We only need to trust each other, accept each other, however much we are different. On that note, the two of us, as you see us here, we are different in a way. We come from different cultures, different countries, we are of different religions, but we have been able to stand right in front of you and present to you just because we trust each other, and we are able to present this evening. So I do highly believe that if we trust each other, and even to everyone who is listening to this outside this room, if we do build trust among each other, we shall be able to reach greater heights. Thank you very much for listening to us.
Thank you very much.